Exactly. Whereas
Okay.
on Instagram, there's the For You page. You happen to go and jump into something different, right? And then on Twitter, it's more so like, even if it wasn't something you were into, you may not follow any porn pages at all, but you can't control someone else's following. And now they show you people's likes. So at one point in time, you weren't able to see other people and likes unless you like went to their likes. Now their likes pop up on their timeline.
I kind of feel like talking to the Twitter spokesperson or something like that, a rap or something, right?
Well, I think social media obviously is a business. So if you think of like the storefront people, the people that have storefronts, if they just are focused on one area, then their money is not going to monopolize as much. But if you want to brand yourself and brand your business and expand and have a franchise, then you do that. So that's how I look at all of these platforms. If you want everybody that is on social media on different platforms to see your content, then you would use something like Thread. You would kind of like use everything. So it's just about building your brand.
All right. Casey, what's going on with you? Sister, you hopping on Thread? Hopping on the bandwagon?
I mean, y'all selling it, man. I wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't thinking about it, but I did get in stories a lot of my like friends and people I went to school with in college, like everyone was hopping on and letting their followers know that they were on Threads. So today was like a really, really big day for that platform. So y'all make it seem really interesting. I'm not on Twitter. I think I may have created a page years back, but I've never posted anything on there. So maybe I'll try it.
Yeah, I think it was pretty smart.
I always have a lot to say.
I think it was pretty smart for them to integrate it with Instagram because you can just go right to it. You don't really have to go necessarily out of the app. I seen Mr. Lego and I seen Sweeney over there looking at it. Sweeney, have you hopped on the bandwagon or you just signed up right now? Nah, you're not gonna do it.
You know,
I'm liking it so far. I never did Twitter ever. Twitter was always stupid to me. And since it's connected to Instagram, I'm trying to figure it out. So I'm just dropping random thoughts, and people liking it. I'm like, okay. I would try to do something on Twitter. I ain't got no following because I never really got on Twitter. So you dropping random thoughts and nobody seems to care. You just be like, forget y'all then. So
let go about to get a little
that's kind of what happened to me.
Get vulnerable.
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, I know, like, for the ones that have a large following, all you gotta do is like snapshot your Twitter, your tweet, and put it on your platforms that have a large following, and it's gonna make the people that follow you on that platform. So.
Now I ain't gotta do that though. So yeah, I was too lazy to do that, but now I ain't gotta do that.
But the thing about Twitter though is, like, as a person who's been on it since like 2009-ish, they appeal to a certain audience. So if you were not already on it, and you're trying to jump into it, you're not going to like it because it's critical. They did a study and they basically said to a person getting 400 likes on Twitter on a picture is equivalent to a person having 10,000 likes on Instagram because it's more organic, it's more authentic, it's more traditionalized than how people think.
What do you mean though? Like,
you can't manufacture it.
You're saying that if people weren't on Twitter before, they wouldn't like it now. What's the difference in the atmosphere or environment of Twitter that's different from the other platforms?
With Twitter,
and I'm not on Twitter, so I'm genuinely asking because I heard you could find corn on Twitter. So like,
you definitely can,
but not just porn, right? Like, I'm not just talking about porn. Twitter is a wide variety of a cultivated audience of a multitude of people. So whomever, unlike Instagram, you can't really curate your algorithm the way that you want. You don't get the option of just being, you can mute words, you can, block words and things like that. But if the algorithm is pushing a certain person, even if you don't follow them, you can end up on a whole nother side of the algorithm by simply just scrolling or engaging with another person who's retweeted something on your timeline. So whomever you follow, unlike Instagram, if you like something, it doesn't suggest what other people like to you. If you like something, it suggests that to everybody else. If you retweet something, it suggests that to everyone else. You're engaging with other people's followers who are engaging with other people's followers, et cetera, et cetera. So you're interacting with the masses.
So it's catering to the people and not necessarily to you.
Exactly. Whereas on Instagram, there's the For You page. You happen to go and jump into something different, right? And then on Twitter, it's more so like, even if it wasn't something you were into, you may not follow any porn pages at all, but you can't control someone else's following. And now they show you people's likes. So at one point in time, you weren't able to see other people and likes unless you like went to their likes. Now their likes pop up on their timeline.
I kind of feel like talking to the Twitter spokesperson or something like that, a rap or something, right?
Yo, I didn't understand a word.
That's a long time.
I'm like, I'm so glad I never got on no damn Twitter. That shit sound crazy.
Man,
what the hell?
I didn't like it because my phone was like every like 2 seconds. It's like, okay, I can't do this.
Yeah,
just turn notifications
you're
off.
essentially having a conversation with yourself, and then other people are responding to you having that conversation. You're tweeting your thoughts.
Yeah, like if you
I get random ass notifications on Twitter. I'm like, why the hell do I have this stupid?
Yeah, no, it's trash. The notifications are crazy because the stuff that comes up is irrelevant. But Paris, let me ask you this: what do you find more success on, or as far as the Twitter was? Was it your thoughts as far as like just put a text? Because that's what I see advertised all the time. Like if you watch an NBA or a particular show, something that goes viral is almost always somebody's thoughts. That's just a script, right? I know you can post pictures. I know you can post videos, but what do you find gives you the most traction?
That's what it is. It's your thoughts, because you can't manufacture that. Like if I post a picture, that can be doctored. If I post a video, that can be edited. I can make it look like what I want it to look like, but it's kind of different when you realize that you have the masses of people sitting here typing their thoughts, and everybody can't distinctly make things make sense in writing. Although you have people that are of all educations, all ethnicities, all types of religions, et cetera, coming together. And it's not necessarily a competition to get into the algorithm, because you don't know what will you really don't know what will pop. You really have no idea what will go viral, but it's the writing of it, because a lot of people can't write and be comedic and have a sense of humor. A lot of people can't write and be thought-provoking. So that's what drives it.
But what does something viral going on Twitter mean? Like, I don't understand. You say some crazy shit and it goes viral, then what? I don't know.
Culture, though, because everything that you're seeing on Instagram, it's influenced by what happens on Twitter. And everything you see on TikTok is influenced by what happens on Twitter. Everything starts at Twitter. That's the root. And then it branches out. A lot of the conversations that podcasters are having, it started from some of the most popular Twitter pages.
So if you want to
threads now, so I'm thankful.
If you want to
delete my Twitter app 1000% and never be on that stupid ass app again.
Yeah, I mean, some folks don't like challenges. If you're looking to do porn, then you want to keep your Twitter app, because I definitely have seen some crazy stuff on Twitter, and I was just like, oh, Twitter is uncensored. It's like Rumble, right? You just said
that's the one thing I appreciate about it, that it's not filtered, and not just necessarily for the corn, but for just for your thoughts to be able to express your thoughts without any type of censorship.
Right.
And Paradise, she is right though. Most of the conversations we have start on Twitter. It always starts with somebody's tweet. Half of the screenshots that we grab, most of that shit is tweets that we catch from, you know what I mean? That we
conversation. So I know.
Now, granted, I do believe that Twitter is a minority of a lot of the things. I do think it generates a lot of the conversations. However, I do believe that a lot of the conversations on there are still, you know what I mean, closed off from what the real world would think or what the real world would say. However, most of us only have opinions about shit that we see on our TV screens or whatever through Twitter. So we'll see something that somebody said on Twitter and be like, oh, well, now I got something to say about that. You know what I mean? So then you see it perpetuate itself throughout everywhere else. But yeah, it definitely generates the conversations.
Well, to tailor it and take the negative out of it, because I know we talk about the porn part, right? Like that was one of the first apps where when artists and creatives wanted to reach out directly to a celebrity, they could, which is why a lot of celebrities don't interact anymore, because they realize like, oh, now the people have direct access to me. They're not going to treat me like they're fanned out about me. They're going to respond in a way that's critical or how they really feel. And that was something that a lot of celebrities shied away from. You don't see a lot of celebs getting on Twitter to tweet their thoughts. But when, for instance, 50 Cent had power and he decided to make changes, you can write them and tell them directly. I've had issues with customer service places. They get to you directly. It's a very much so organic way for consumers to be reaching people that they want to consume from. And I think that's the best thing about it, whether it's a politician, whether it's a business, whether it's a playwright or a screenwriter. You can literally find them and mention them. I've had opportunities from Twitter. NBC reached out to me and I got it directly from a DM on Twitter.
Yeah. And if your YouTube trying to go down, you got to reach out to YouTube on Twitter.
Right there.
All right. We're dropping gems. I just dropped a gem. Shit. Anyhow, let's go ahead and keep it pushing.
I remember when that happened. Yeah, you told me about that. So yeah, you right. So I keep the little stupid Twitter app just
you got to keep
YouTube trying to go down.
Shit, I got into my first argument with a celebrity on Twitter.
I think I'm gonna look into it, but I'm not really like I don't make my money off social media, and I don't want a lot of followers. So I think whatever the mass is, pick one, and that's what I'll go to, just so I'm not like a dinosaur in technology or social media. So, but I just contact my family through social media and look at my nieces and nephews grow up in another state. So I think I'll get on there just to see what it's about, and maybe there'll be a new experience for me, but I can care less. I don't need 3 social medias. Instagram and Facebook is good for me. But if we're going to exit one out and pick the other one, let's do that and call it a day.
Well, if you're going to pick one, just pick OnlyFans.
All of them.
OnlyFans might be the way to go, man. You could just go in there and stroke your beard.
Yeah.
And people would just watch. So
when it comes to the social medias now, it's really a different dynamic, because Facebook has always been family oriented, right? And then you have Instagram. It's more so for people who are your networking friends and your socialites and people you want to reach out and brand with. When it comes to Twitter, you have some people who come on there and they hide. It's some heavy hitters on Twitter that they have little to no followers, but they can tweet their intricate thoughts, and they know nobody's going to come over here and find me and bother me because I don't promote it, or nobody sees me over here. I'm not trying to grow my following. And it's very easy to do so. If you get on TikTok, right, most people don't realize how easy it is to go viral on TikTok. I blew up in TikTok off one video. So I definitely think you have to do what works for you, especially as a creator when you talk about your brand, because with Twitter now, we're seeing the same way a lot of people have a high rising, they have a quicker falling.